Hi everyone, welcome to Chats with Harry and Inshura, and Happy New Year!
Happy New Year.
And we're so glad that God has protected you and guided you and has brought you into this new year. And we're praying that God does amazing things for you this year. One of the things that we love to do as a family, one of the things that we've recently decided to adopt in our life is just going into the new year with more intentionality, because guys, we set goals for our businesses, we set goals for church, we set goals for so many things that sometimes we forget to set goals for our families. And we realized, especially since we started having kids, that we need to just enter the year with more focus as a family. So we just want to share with you guys some of the things that we are beginning to adopt. We haven't fully adopted all, but we want to be more intentional this year. And so we're bringing you guys along the journey and just talk to you about what we want to do this year, just to bring more focus to our families. Yeah. Babe, so what do we want to do?
Yeah, so I mean, this year we want to be very intentional. We want to set our goals right, and not just even set general goals, but set more specific goals. More or less categorize our goals. Into various sections, whether it's financial, whether it's career, whether it's spiritual, family goals, marriage goals. And I mean, I think before, even for me, I used to have an idea of what I want to do. So normally when I want to set my goals, it will be more mental. So I'll just do X,
I think
Y,
we all do that,
but I will not be able to track
what
I want to do, and just keep adding things, keep taking things out, and it was just not really organized. So I mean, I don't know about you, but I would say, for me, I would say, maybe this year I'm going to read like 20 books. And I was saying things like that, very nice things.
And you end up reading how many? You actually read a lot of books.
Yeah, but at that time, I would just talk about, maybe I read like 20 books.
Like these vague goals.
Goals. Or I'll save. I'll save. This year I'll save more. That's when you deplete your investment. Because if the goals are not structured, you just like whatever happens during the day or during the week or during the month, just the circumstances of life will just more or less toss you and then toss your goals as well. So it's good to be very intentional, and that's what we want to do as a family. To more or less have that particular structure, which also helps as well. I think I remember years ago when Anjana Vasia spoke about having a life plan for 20 years.
And 20-year plan.
Design something for that. And that was really important, because it just more or less gives you a certain structure and a certain focus and something to work towards. So that, I mean, your life is not just planned haphazardly. And so I think that it's always just important to have that.
So and I think it's important for whether you are single, you're dating, or you're married, to have a plan, especially after a year like 2020. 2020 just threw everybody for a loop. It was only by God's grace that we managed to figure out 2020 and managed to get out alive. And so we have to be more strategic and goal-oriented in this year. And so that is why for Harry and I, we're like, listen, we need to take this year by the horns, and we need to do something about this year. So we set out different areas in our family life that we would want to set goals for. And we're hoping that once we do, you also do, and we'll compare notes later on in the year. So babe, do you want to talk about some of the areas?
So one of the areas we first wanted to look at was, I'll start with the spiritual. And the kind of goals that I want to set. I think one of the two things that stood out for us was giving and serving. And how the fact that in this year we want to be able to give more. Not just of our time, but also give more of our resources to support the work of God, because we believe that that's very important. The scripture talks a lot about giving, and if you give, you receive, and all that. And that's very important, that we take that seriously as Christians. And so that is very important for us. You can also incorporate that to be helpful. But we want to be very, even in our tithing, in our offering, we want to be able to increase it. We want to be very intentional about that. We want to see ourselves committing more of us of what is important to us to the Lord. Because He's the sort of all that we have. So I think that's important.
And I think that's very important for our family, because for Harry and I, we usually would increase our giving every year, but we haven't really sat down to be intentional about what, I don't know if it's like a percentage we're going to increase it by every year. So for us in this year, we just want to be more intentional about starting the year right, giving more money to the church, giving more of our time, giving more of everything that we have to God. Because like Harry said, all that we have is all that we have received from God. So as a family, we want our children to learn to give, and we also want to give as well.
And we also want to serve as well. When it comes to our spiritual life, we want to be able to serve more, we want to be available. I think that for us, I mean, if you're a Christian, I think that it's important to, give your time, give your talent to whichever church you are in. It's very important to be there, to be present, to know that, okay, I'm in this church, but I'm also contributing something to ensure that my church is developing, my church is progressing. It's important. There's something that you can give. And that should be part of your plan.
Something that you can give.
That should be part of your plan for the new year. That's very important in terms of our spiritual life as well.
And then we had goals. We have goals for our marriage. Because we see our marriage as something that we have to nurture, and so we are planning on investing in our marriage. In fact, last year we took an assessment called the SYMBIS assessment, and what the SYMBIS assessment does is that it gives you a 16-page report. So Harry fills a part, I fill a part, and it gives you a 15-page or a 16-page report on your marriage. Guys, I've been married to this guy for a long time, and I was like, babe, I didn't even know this about you. I didn't know this about you. And it was so helpful for us to get to know each other a bit more. So those are some of the things that we're talking about. We have to be able to invest in our relationships, invest in yourself, invest in your relationship. And so, we are really planning on taking time to invest in our marriage, because a healthy us is very important to raising when raising healthy children as well. So we plan on doing that. But what else are we doing?
I think that we also want to learn more. I think that there's a lot that we can know about each other.
There's a lot that you have to know about me. I change all the time, guys. So Harry needs to keep up.
It's a lot to learn, so I think that it's just important.
I know you because, I pay attention to you. I know you.
Keep flowing yourself.
I know him, guys. I do.
Okay. Thank you for praising yourself. It's a lot to learn. So I think that it's just important for all of us to be able to learn that and keep improving. So for us, it's more about reading, learning, different resources and materials about, of course, things that are scriptural and biblical, or have those biblical foundations, because you don't want to just read anything that will throw your marriage, of course, or that will harm your relationship. So I think that's important for us just to grow in that as a goal, that want to get to know each other better. Definitely.
And we have our financial goals, because I think finances is very important to talk about. And so we want to be more open and honest and transparent about our finances and setting goals for it. So how much do we want to save this year for our family, and how much are we putting aside for the children, and all of these things that come with juggling your finances. And it's personally, this is one of the things that I'm excited about, is setting more strategic financial goals, because I want to see the goal that I've saved this much, and I want the year to end and be like, oh yeah, I met this goal. I want us to be able to just be more strategic when it comes to saving for the children and saving for ourselves. We are both in school, so putting money aside for all of those things is highly, highly important. So make sure you're setting your financial goals. I promise you, part of your argument is because you haven't set financial goals. So as singles, you must set your financial goals. And then as married people, you must set your financial goals. I literally started saving for pension whilst I was single. That was a financial goal that I set to myself. And I think you also did the same thing. So it's very important to be financially independent and save towards your future, because you definitely reach the retirement age.
Yeah.
I was having a conversation with somebody one time. I was telling them that Harry has already become an old man. Like, I'm already married to an old man. So it's good that I started saving for retirement whilst I was single, because the guy's aging right in front of my eyes, guys. Right in front. So yeah. So it's good to set financial goals. And I think another goal that I'm so passionate about is setting parental goals.
Yeah, and definitely we're going to talk more about that.
Yeah.
But parental goals are extremely important if you're a parent. I think that you need to be able to define the kind of parent you want to be.
Yeah.
How you want to raise your kids. How you want to nurture them, how you want to even grow into the role of being a parent. I think that's very important.
Yeah.
Sometimes we leave some of these things hanging, all these goals. We're not intentional about it.
Yeah.
And because we're not intentional about it, we can't actually audit our progress.
Yep.
So by the time the year comes to an end, you see that you haven't done much, or you can't really tell whether you've done much or not. You can't track it so that you can know how to increase for the coming year. So I think it's very important for us to have that as well.
Setting parental goals is like I'm looking forward to that one, and we hope that it's been good. Do we have any more goals?
No, this should be for that.
Yeah,
for now.
We have this for now. So we are hoping that you also adopt some of the goals, and just comment below and let us know some of the goals that you are hoping to achieve this year. And once again, thank you for listening to us, and God bless you all. Have a great evening. Bye.
Loving